Hi beautiful souls. I want to offer a little reflection of traveling here on my moon Pluto line in the Azores. This is a moon Descendant line and a Pluto Midheaven line. I have my moon in Cancer in gate 53, Gene Key 53, the gate of starting things. And I have my Pluto in gate 1, the gate of the Yang, the creative in human design. And the moment that I came here, the first connection that I made with the island and the plants was with the jasmine flower. And because the moon represents the home and our comforts and our family and even the mothering figure, I grew up in my house in Bangkok with a jasmine tree that always had this beautiful smell every season. And every time I smell jasmine, sometimes when I use essential oils or incense that has jasmine scent to it, I would also smell it. And so when I smelled the jasmine yesterday, my heart was beating so fast because it felt like I was reminded of home. There was this nostalgic feeling that came up, but at the same time, I felt so reminded of home, and I felt comfortable, and I felt like belonging in a sense too. I feel like my Pluto line hasn't kicked in yet, but something might come up, but I do feel very creative here, and I feel like I'm ready to step into my full creative power. And the other cool thing about the moon being in gate 53 is that it has this city called superabundance and this gift of expansion, the shadow of immaturity. And when I came here on the Azores, if you guys have been here, everything is big. Like the trees are huge. You know, it's also been called like the land of Jurassic Park because everything is much bigger than it should be. And that is exactly how it feels. The flowers are big, everything feels so abundant, so expansive. There's so much super abundance here. And sometimes when I look at Gene Key 53, I like to use the analogy of a garden. Like, you want to make sure that you're planting the right seeds in your garden and taking care to nourish that garden. And on the Azores, I feel like the entire island is a garden. And it's a garden where everything is so big and so abundant and just has so much space to grow. And I'm feeling so grateful to be here. I'm going to explore here for another 2 weeks, and so I'm going to be sharing more of this little astrocartography experiment with you guys. I hope that you'll enjoy it. I feel like most of you guys would be familiar with astrocartography, but if you're not, there is some programs out there. You can also do an astro.com where you can put in your birth information, and then it'll show you a map of where might be some of the best places for you to travel to or to possibly relocate to. But if you're looking at relocation, you want to look at that coupled with like a relocation chart. But just on its own, it can indicate like the different kinds of energies that are present in the earth and how that affects you personally based on your birth chart. So there are going to be lines that show up that will show the energy of the planets on particular angles that might be at play. Now, I'm not entirely professional at astrocartography, so I don't do readings and things like that, but I'm experimenting with it right now. And that's why I'm here, and I hope to be doing a little bit more of these types of experiments as a 1-3 projector. I just love to experiment in real life after I've done my research. So yeah, if you guys have seen your astrocartography, then share below what has been your experiences with it. Hi, beautiful souls. I want to offer you guys a reflection of traveling to my moon descendant line and my Pluto midheaven line a little bit more in depth, since I'm still here in the Azores, but it's been over a week since we've been here and a lot has happened. And what I wanted to offer is that the moment that I landed here, I didn't feel the Pluto. It was almost as if there was this intense obsession with the place. Like I just felt like I fell in love, and I felt like there was magic and adventure, and there's just this obsession with it. However, after a few days have gone by, a couple of things have happened that have really brought the moon descendant and the Pluto on the midheaven into more perspective. So what happened was that, you know how when the moon is on the descendant is about the other, and the moon is this nurturing, caretaking energy. And so a few days after we arrived here, my partner got sick. It's not an extreme, he wasn't like really sick, but he has back pain. And it's a little bit of a severe back pain that he has, but it's something that is already he's familiar with it. It's a part of his health care that he really has to take care of. But he got that after coming here, and we have tried several things to care for his back. For example, we tried to take lots of hot baths and going to the thermal springs here, the hot springs here, to help relax the pain on his back. We also tried to get some medicine for it, like painkillers, but we ran into several challenges in getting that. And I think that's when the Pluto kicks in a little bit and really brings in the challenge. And so we couldn't find a pharmacy that was open on the day when his pain was very severe. It was a holiday on that day. So we had to wait till the next day for the pharmacy to open. But we decided to also get a kind of hot pillow. It's like you put water into the hot pillow and you heat it up with electricity, and then it becomes very warm, and that helps to ease the pain for my partner as well. So he got that pillow and he put it on his back, like outside of his shirt. He wore a shirt and a sweater, and then the hot pillow outside of it for the night to help him to sleep, because he couldn't sleep for a few days. And what happened was that because he also took the painkiller, I think, he couldn't really feel how hot this pillow was on his back, which caused him to have quite a big burn on his back the very next day. So not only does he have back pain, but he now also has a burn on his back. However, by burning his back, he was able to sort of shock away some of the pain that was there. So now he has a burn on his back, but the pain is somewhat gone for a little bit. So we decided to also look up several osteopaths here on the island, and found that, so we called about 5 or 6 osteopaths. One of them is not on the island, and another one, we couldn't get an appointment until like a month later, which wasn't very useful, but we managed to find one at the health club, and another one who is considered a very good chiropractor and osteopath here. So we booked 2 appointments. One was on Friday, and the other one is coming up this Tuesday. We went to the osteopath on Friday, and she got sick. She fell and she couldn't come to the appointment. We drove about 40 minutes to another city on the island just for this appointment, and she couldn't come. So we were like, we just felt this sense of bad luck just kind of following us on the trip. And, because Pluto is on my midheaven here, there's also this goal that we had coming here, was that my partner was going to help me to make some content for YouTube and for Instagram. But of course, after he's going through this kind of pain, it just kind of becomes a little bit harder for him to fully devote himself to this thing that he really wants to help me do, which is help to make content for YouTube and Instagram. And so as much as I feel like I've become a nurse almost, you know, I have to put this burn cream on my partner's back, I have to take care of this burn wound, and you know, it's been like 3 or 4 nights now that he can't sleep, and the pain keeps coming back, and then it goes away, and then it comes back. And it's just been very stressful. And I think that's kind of what happens when Moon and Pluto meet up, in a sense, is it brings this feeling of stress. So I would say one of the key words, if you guys are considering traveling to a line that has Pluto anywhere on the angles, is the word stress. A lot of people will give you words like it's very intense, there's a scariness to it. I don't feel that. I don't think that is something that's very accurate to describe coming to a place and feeling the sense of like, I'm scared. I'm here in this beautiful natural place, and we have some of the most amazing daredevil adventures, and that is a Pluto line. It's like, you know, when you travel, it's gonna be an adventure place. It's gonna be a place where you're gonna, you know, try stuff that you've never tried before. And the other day we drove to this beach. There was a really big fish just jumping around in the lake right next to me where I'm sitting. By the way, it's a really beautiful lake as well. Oh, another really big fish. Yeah, and I think that, you know, when people describe a place as being scary, it's that they've maybe lost sense of a connection with the spirit of the land and the spirit of the place. And that's also something that I've really been practicing a lot, is how do I give an offering to the land in the place that I'm going to and connect with the land and the place and the spirits around me. So I feel like it's that sense of being scared of the place where you're at. It's not accurate, but we did drive to the beach the other day, and the path driving to the beach was pretty scary, but that's not about the place itself. It's the way that they made the road and the way that we had to. It was a very small road, and it was very steep, but it was the most beautiful beach. And here's the thing about this landscape. It's volcanic landscape. So we were at this black sand beach, and I could sense the Pluto, this feeling of power at being here in a volcanic landscape, because I have been called a volcano from time to time. Like, I once saw an astrologer, and he said that I have emotions that are like volcano because I can, you know, explode. I have my sun opposite Pluto and my moon trine Pluto. So I have this kind of like spewing emotions that sometimes I don't really release, and then they just kind of come out of nowhere. So it can be like a bit like volcano. And being here, I can really feel that also within me. But I have grown so much, but I still feel it. You know, I still feel from time to time. Like with my partner being sick here, at the beginning I was really concerned and feel like this sense of death approaching, this sense of feeling like somebody that I loved, my loved ones, here on this island. What if something really happened? What if something really, you know, urgent happened? What would I do? And it really did bring a sense of fear of loss and thoughts of death while being here on the island. But I think that's just human nature. You know, that's just what happens in life. We experience moments of darkness and light, and they're both beautiful and amazing in their own way. But being here on a Pluto line is bringing that sense of thoughts of darkness and death that does come up. And as you know, I lost my dad 2 years ago, and so I was having the sense of what if I was going to lose somebody close to me again, and allowing myself to take deep breaths. And there were days where I really had to tell myself, let's take time off for myself for some self-care. Like I went for a morning walk yesterday by myself because my partner of course, was not really up for the walk. And so I did go for that walk by myself and just offering myself moments of self-care. Taking the moon, which is on the Descendant, which is something that I have to be doing here, is taking care of others, but allowing that moon on the Descendant to also be on the Ascendant. So making sure that I'm balancing that with taking care of myself too. I think that's really, really important for if you are doing a moon descendant travel line, or if you have moon descendant in your birth chart. And so there were also moments here where I felt immense power too. Very brief moments of that, because I'm not like living here, but I'm just traveling, right? Moments like when I jump into the waterfall and I'm showered by the cold waters of nature. I just felt so powerful. And the black sand beach, I felt so powerful being there. And this feeling of how being in nature, being in Mother Nature, can make you feel more powerful when you connect. So those are some of my reflections, and I think I want to make more videos for you guys offering tips if you're traveling to particular lines on your astrocartography. But I'll keep you up to date on that and when that might be coming. But for now, I'm sending everybody so much love, so much surrender, so much acceptance for life, death, loss, darkness, light, and all of it. Bye. So it's been a few days since my last sitting talking with you guys, and now my partner is feeling better. His pain is not entirely gone, but it's better because we found an osteopath and a chiropractor on the island that we can actually schedule in, that doesn't take a month of waiting for an appointment. And he's probably one of the best on the island as well, and so that's really helped my partner to relax his back a little bit more. And so we've been able to carry on with our time here in a way that we both do our best. And what I've really learned from having Moon and Pluto coming into contact like this is really about what is it that I can control and what is it that I can't. And things like death and sickness and suffering and aging, these are very real human themes that we really can't escape. But the society has really disconnected us from death and sickness and suffering. With all the pills and the medications and the chemicals that we're being asked to put in our body, instead of really understanding our own bodies and the preventative methods and the holistic healing techniques that is really also there as a resource for all of us and brings more wholeness than, oh my God, I have to go to the doctor, I have to go to the hospital, that kind of feeling. And that's also been a journey of mine since my 9th house sun in the solar return year, which was last year. I've been going on this journey of magic and connecting with the dead and with spirits of the dead to really open up my perspective and my heart to these topics. And it's been very helpful and very eye-opening, and has taken me to many realms that have given me a lot of perspective, and I'm still working on it, of course. It's still a journey that I'm still working on. And when we are faced with things that we can't control, what we actually try to do is we try to control it, ironically. And one of the things that I've been learning to do, and I've really came to understood about how do we handle things that we can't really control, is to let it go and to really accept and to really surrender to it, but also at the same time being vulnerable and opening up with the people around us and with ourselves about how we really feel. And that's what I've learned has really helped us on this trip that we have here, is for me, like telling my partner that I have lost a loved one 2 years ago and this fear is coming up. This is a trauma that I have to deal with and I have to handle, and I'm still working through it. And having that line of vulnerable, open communication and letting it out and understanding and listening to each other without judgments, without insecurities, is what really, really helps. Because when we don't do that, we tend to resort to manipulation or unhealthy tactics to cope with things that we have no control over anyways. So that's been my journey here, and I really feel called to share that with you guys. Thank you for listening. And if you guys are doing any astrocartography experiments, then I wish you all the best with that. And this is what I've come to realize also, is how the place that we're at is really reflecting the inner parts of ourselves. How the energies of the place is really calling the inner energy inside of us to come out, and we understand ourselves better also because of the location that we're in. And I think it's just such a beautiful way of understanding astrocartography and astrology and ourselves. So sending you guys so much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
It's just around the river bend. Hi, cow.